Hey guys, obviously from the thumbnail and title, this video is about some holsters. So I had a company reach out to me, say they had seen some of my recent videos, and asked if I would be interested in looking at one of their holsters. And if you guys watch or follow any other gun channels, you probably have heard of this company. So the three holsters that I have here are coming from Harry's Holsters. I first learned of them probably in 2016 or 2017. Some of the guys that I was following on YouTube, like Big Johnson Guns and Gear, he was running Harry's Holsters, and I think to this day still does. So, anyways, this is an American company based out of North Carolina. It was started by one guy named Harrison Jones, and he's not just like a businessman, entrepreneur, like he is a gun guy. And just so YouTube knows, all the guns that you see in this video, even though I'll be handling them and messing with them, no ammo anywhere around. All the guns are unloaded. So we are safe. So these are all three the same holster. So I'm going to unbox one of them here for you guys, and then I'll do the other two off camera because it's going to be the same stuff. And if I were to open it and it's something different, I'll let you guys know. But so this is how they come packaged. This is the Shorty for the P365, and it's version 2. There is a version 1 QR code if you want to scan that, because there are some instructions that you have to do. That's the whole box there. And then let's get into this top. Bring everything out of here. All right, we are empty there. So this is the Shorty holster. This is kind of like a Loctite. It's a thread locker. I'll show you what we're gonna do with that. We have our clip and the hardware, and then another thing for instructions. So before we start going into all the details, just kind of want to give you guys some close-ups here of it. You can see it, he has like his branding right there, the double H's for Harry's Holsters. It says it's the Shorty, and this one's for the P365. So I do like that. So some of the features here of this Shorty is they try to use as minimal of material as possible. As you can see, the entire holster is very, very small. They basically remove material where it's not needed. I'll have to check out the undercut area and the magazine release once we get a pistol in it. You can run an optic on your pistol. You don't have to, but this has got a cutout for it. You can see that this has like this funny thing looking like right here. This actually has a built-in claw or a wing. And again, once we get the belt clip on here, you'll kind of understand, but you know, your belt's going to go through here and push against this, which in turn pushes this a little bit more closer to your body, and it gets the grip of your pistol just pressed inward a little bit, because the grip is what will usually print. So this wing significantly helps reduce that. But all of the edges are rounded, all been buffed. Does have adjustable retention right there. The sight channel is slightly raised, so if you are running suppressor height sights, that should work for you. And the website description says this will work with threaded barrels as well. The end of it is basically enclosed here, so maybe there's just some extra space, so that if you do have the thread adapter or whatever on the end, it'll still fit in there. I'll have to see once I get the pistol in it. As you can see, it has a full high sweat shield, and I always like that on a holster. It's got areas for adjustable ride height. So you can, if you like your pistol to ride lower or higher, whatever, you can change that up. And then also you can adjust the cant. They're not just circles, or, you know, these are like kind of like oblong holes. So when you go to put this on, you can either run it to where it's just like this, or you can change it and still be lined up. So that way you can change the cant of the holster. And speaking of that clip, it is the DCC monoblock, super thin metal, but super strong. It's honestly the only clip that I run on my holsters nowadays. Once it's on your belt, it is super secure. It's not nearly as bulky as the plastic ones, which again helps with reducing printing. And you definitely don't have to worry about these ones breaking. So anytime I buy a holster, I actually spend the extra money and buy the DCC monoblock clip, but Harry's Holsters and the Shorty actually includes it. So I just scan that QR code, and I'm going to watch this quick video on how to set this holster and the clip and stuff up. All right, I'll give you the quick version of that video. Basically, it says to go ahead and put the holster kind of down into your pants, figure out which holes here you're going to want to use. Put some of this Vibratite on these screws, wait about 5 minutes, and then assemble everything together here. And before I get it all together, that is the hardware that's included. Some square nuts and Phillips head screws. So I did not install the thread locker yet. I kind of wanted to show you guys, again, if you're in the top holes, your gun is going to carry much deeper. Now there is some adjustment on both sets of holes. Again, you can see that I could be toward the bottom of these holes, the middle of them, toward the top. Right now I'm toward the top of the top holes. And personally, this is a little bit too deep for me. There's almost no room to get my hand in between the top of my belt and pant and my gun. So I'm definitely going to use the lower holes, and then I'll kind of figure out per his instructions exactly where I want to go with it. And this is what I mean by the adjustability. So right now I'm in the bottom holes, but look how much I can still move this up and down even within the bottom holes. And again, your forward or rearward cant can be done from here too. I run Appendix, so I usually like to have a 0-degree cant, but you can move this quite a bit. And one really nice thing about those square nuts is there is a square channel back here, and those nuts fit right down inside of that. I've had other holsters where I have to try to take a butter knife or something to try to put down in there because you can't get a screwdriver down into where your nuts are there. And then so to try to tighten it from here with the screwdriver, but you can't get anything here. So I'll take like the long edge of a butter knife and try to hold against them while I try to turn out here. You don't have to worry about that at all. It fits right in there, and basically they lock up easily. With that Vibratite thread locker, he says that you can actually use it 3 to 4 times. So if you did get this set up and you're like, you know what, I don't really like that, I think I'm going to do it in a different position, you can just reuse the same screws that already have the thread locker on them. So I will give this a little bit of time to cure before I put it on my belt. But let's check out the pistol kind of in it. Again, this is unloaded, but we'll see kind of what the snap is like, what the retention's like. So let's see here. Very, very positive click there, snap. Let's check out the undercut area. So I've said this on many videos, the 2 most important things to me on a holster: does it completely cover the trigger guard? Is there any chance of me getting something in here and grabbing onto that trigger? I do carry with one in the chamber, but I usually carry with my safety on. But that looks like that trigger is completely covered. There's no daylight getting through there. It may be a little teeny tiny sliver at the very, very back, but there's no way it could get to the trigger, which is down here in the middle. So yes, that does pass that test. This is right out of the box. I've not messed with the retention or anything, but let's just see. Yeah, that is solid. That won't go anywhere at all. Let's see what the retention actually feels like trying to draw it out. I always use like the sweat shield almost as like a thumb brake. So I kind of push there and pull here at the same time. That's pretty decent right out of the box. I'm not sure if I even need to adjust that. It may be just a touch tight. So, and again, if I want to adjust that, I just turn the screw right here just a little bit. And then the other thing that I really like in a holster, again, those are the two main ones, is does it cover the trigger guard and how is the retention? And this is great for both of those. The third thing I like is that high sweat shield. And as you can see, that comes all the way to the very end of your slide, covers that up completely. So again, this will be what's up against your body when you're sweating and your body oil and grease and stuff like that. I've had some of them that don't even have the sweat shield at all. So the holster just kind of cuts off right here. I've had others where it comes up like right to here, which I don't even understand it. Because then that part of your slide is getting rusty and stuff. But I really appreciate somebody who takes the time to kind of bring this all the way up. So while this one's curing, I'm going to go ahead and start working on these other two and get them set up. All right, got these other ones set up. Again, I'm going to have to wait for this to cure before I can put them on my belt and actually test them out. But we'll see. We get the Shield Plus here. See what this is like. That one does not have quite the snap as what the P365 did. But again, maybe I need to adjust the tension a little bit. We'll see. It still fits in there great, though. Just not quite the loud snap. And as you can see here with my Shield Plus, that if I had my Optic on the top here, which I might throw one on there just to show you guys, but you can see that that would fit in there easily. And let's check out the 43X. Not quite any snap at all, but I'm sure it's still just as secure. And I'm shaking that hard. There's no movement or anything. But again, I can probably adjust the tension and see how that feels later. So I just turned that like a quarter turn. Again, definitely not too tight or anything, but a whole lot more snap now. All right, so I threw a red dot real quick on top of the shield just so we can see what that Optic cut looks like here. And again, you can see there's plenty of room. It's not hitting it. It's not preventing it from like holstering, anything like that. Yeah, it slides right past it, no problem. So I don't know exactly how long it takes this Vibratite to fully cure. I think it's around 24 hours, but that's like if you're using like deep, long threads and you had to put a lot of it on it. I'm probably guessing at least 12 hours on these short little screws like this. Today is Monday, the 18th of March. I'm going to let this cure probably overnight, and then I'm going to start carrying one of these. I typically carry my P365 more than anything else. So probably I'll wait until tomorrow, Tuesday. I'll start carrying this one, and then I'll carry it for at least a week. And then maybe toward the end of next week or whatever, I'll come back and kind of give an update on my thoughts on these. All right, guys, for this part of the video, I decided to use the Glock 43X because it's the biggest of the three that I showed earlier. I have it on right now, basically in like the 12-15 position. I typically do not wear light colored clothing when I carry. I carry 90% of the time Appendix. Every once in a while I will do a pocket carry, and it doesn't really matter what color shirt I wear then. But even this shirt here, I would not wear it even if I was pocket carrying, because the sleeves are just a little bit too long. But I wanted to show you guys a light colored shirt just to show you printing or lack thereof. And again, it's right here. I'll try to show you guys. So again, I moved mine a little bit to the lower spot, and what that does is it gives me a little more room right here. And when I go to get a purchase or to draw the gun, you can see I'm able to get my fingers basically all the way around and under immediately without my belt interfering. If you were in the top notch, this does ride a little bit lower, which does actually help conceal a little bit better. but for some people that'll make, you know, drawing a little bit more difficult. And what I'm going to do in a minute is show the same gun in another holster that does not have a wing or a claw or anything like that, and we'll see if it prints any different. Now, if I were to pull this shirt tight, you can see a spot right there that's at the end of the slide, and then you can see the grip right there a little bit. But again, that's with the shirt super tight. I don't know who would wear their clothes, you know, even just like slightly loose, you're not going to see it. But yeah, this is what it looks like. You can see that retains on the belt really well. Reholsters easily. And again, if you were to go in somewhere that you're not allowed to take a gun with you, it's very easy to grab onto those two little clips. You pull, and the whole thing just comes off easily. Store it, lock it in your car, and then when you're, you know, able to get back to your vehicle, you just grab onto those two clips, pull it till you hear it snap over the belt, and then give it a tug just to make sure it's there. And then you're good to go again. Wanted to show you guys the same gun, same holster, but in the higher positions, which actually puts the gun lower down into your pants. There's almost zero printing when you wear it lower. What you see right there is actually my stomach, and it kind of is from the holster kind of pushing up on my stomach, but that's not the gun at all right there. So the gun is there, but you can see there's not nearly as much room now. I could easily get my fingers all the way under before, but for a lot of people, this is a better option. Again, there's almost no printing. Even from the side, there's basically no printing. But it does make it a little more difficult to grab and to draw. So just kind of keep that in mind. And for me personally, it makes it a little bit tougher to reholster. I almost have to kind of guide it and feel it. But again, that's not the important thing. The important thing is to be able to get to your gun, draw it. You know, after you've done what you need to do, then you can worry about putting it back in its holster. But what's nice is that the Shorty gives you both options. If you want to wear it low like this or a little higher like I showed before, you can do that. A lot of other holsters do not give you both options. Okay, this is the same exact gun in another holster. This holster does not have a wing or claw on it yet. And I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I can actually already see just the same loose shirt. But let me pull it tight like I did the last time and see if you can tell how much difference that sticks out right there. And again, that built-in wing on the other one, what it does is it pushes this grip inward, which then helps reduce printing up here. So hopefully seeing those different ride heights was beneficial for you. I mentioned earlier in the video about the forward and the rearward cant, and kind of showed that, you know, you can take this clip and basically turn it, you know, to any angle that you want, you know, and this here will make your holster come back this way a little bit more. If you go this way, it makes it go forward a little bit more. Well, you can also use all of the holes to do this. So what you can do is you can put one screw in the bottom hole, a different screw in the top hole, and that gives you even way more than what this would. As you can see, this is how you're going to get up to the full 30 degrees. This here is probably going to give you like 10 to 15 degrees. And then again, imagine this on your belt. So this is going to make your gun come forward quite a bit. And if you want the opposite, you go this way with it. So again, if this is on my belt, now my gun's going to be going in a rear position. So that's how you get to the full 30 degrees, is you just use a combination of top and bottom holes left and right. All right, guys, so I have carried my P365 in this Harry's holster Shorty for the past week and a half, and just kind of want to share some of my thoughts. So the first thing I'll say is I like to carry in a higher writing position. I have big hands, and to comfortably be able to get between my belt and the grip of the gun, I like to have a little bit of space in between there. And what I will say is I think I showed it with the 43X. is, so this is the belt position right here, clip position. And as you can see, the wing up here sticks out a whole lot further up here than what it does down here. My belt's coming through right here, and this is lower than what it is here. So it does not push the grip quite as well back into you as it does when it's up higher. So I almost do wish they could figure out a way to maybe just extend this a little bit more. So the belt's still hitting it, but it's hitting it like here. And again, this starts sloping right about where the belt is hitting it. And I actually felt like it was almost tilting it forward just a touch. When I had it on the 43X in the high belt clip position, but then the low ride height, it concealed so much better. And the only thing that should be doing is just bringing it down a little bit. But because of that claw position, it does help push it back a little bit more. So that would be a suggestion if they could just figure out a way to bring that claw down just a little bit more for the people who do have a high ride position. It 100% does not bother me, but some people are going to say, well, your magazine release should be covered. I've been carrying Appendix for years, concealed for 20 years, and I have never had a magazine get hit from my body and, partially eject the magazine out. And then I know there are some people who have metal magazine releases, and so this part will be touching up against your body. So there is that possibility that if you do have a metal magazine release, that could potentially rust. But overall, I am really impressed with these holsters. The quality is there. I like that it's an American company. The owner, Harrison Jones, like he will personally respond to emails. I like that they have this built-in wing. I think that design is very clever, very ingenious. Obviously gets the grip of the gun going a little closer to your body, and it doesn't add any size really to the overall footprint of the holster. This is a holster from another company, and you can see their claw or wing, how much wider it becomes because it's like an attachment to it. And this is for the same gun. And just look how much bigger that is. So you have that much more real estate that's trying to take up inside your pants. I like how easy it is to put on and take off, literally just a second or two. You don't have to undo your belt. You just pull out on these clips here, slide it in, let the clips grip underneath your belt, and it's super, super secure. I started running these DCC monoblock clips probably 2 years or so ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And that's all I put on all my holsters now. I really like them. I used to use this to plastic clips, and then I went to soft loops for a while. But if you've not tried these, they're very inexpensive. They're like $5 or something. But I would definitely check them out. And I didn't show it in the video. I personally wear a gun belt every single day, whether I'm wearing jeans or shorts. I always have a gun belt on. But technically, this clip is strong enough that it could hold in like if you had on some basketball shorts or jogging pants or something like that, or even if you had on dress pants and had a really nice belt, and then you didn't want this to kind of mar up the front of that belt, you could just slide this between. So your belt's here on the outside of it, and then this goes down and just clings onto your pants that are underneath, and the belt's over top of this here. That would work as well. I like that the Shorty comes Optic ready. It has that cutout right there. So if you want to put a red dot on your pistol, like I said earlier, it'll work just fine with that. I like that it's super easy to adjust. If you want to go from a low ride height to a high ride height or change the cant, having those square nuts makes all the difference in the world. I've had other holsters where seriously, it'll take me a half an hour just to do an adjustment. And then sometimes I even have to take the screw here out and open like the clamshell up to be able to get my hands down in there to mess with stuff. These here, you can adjust it in 15 seconds. But most of all, I like that it's comfortable. It's one of those things that if you get a holster and it is digging into you, or you feel like it's pushing in certain areas, If it's just uncomfortable, you're not going to wear it. That's just the truth about it. And with my P365, it's not uncommon. Like I wear it sometimes 14, 16 hours out of a day. Um, and I didn't have any discomfort issues whatsoever. Now, I can't promise that it's going to be comfortable for you. Holsters are sort of unique. You know, every person's body type and shape and all that stuff and carry position, all those things matter. I can only tell you my experience with it, and it was very comfortable. So let's talk about pricing, returns, and warranty before we end the video. Pricing is coming in on these somewhere between $65 and $95. And the reason that there's a gap is that there's still two versions. They had version 1, and those are the $65 ones. The stock is getting a little bit limited because they've been replaced with version 2. And basically, the biggest difference is there's more rounding here on this corner, as you can see from the two pictures right there. And typically, that rounding is a little more comfortable, especially if you are carrying in the appendix position, because you don't want that like kind of digging into your pubic area. So your only options are right or left hand and which gun model. There aren't any other colors. Black is what you get. There's no carbon fiber stuff. And I honestly think that that $95 price is pretty fair. Most of the holsters that I get are in the $70 range, and that is without a claw or wing. I usually put that on, which is an extra $15. So now I'm to $85. And then I always add that DCC monoblock clip, which is another $5. So I'm at $90+. So Harry's holsters are pretty competitive on the price. So let's say you buy one of these holsters and you absolutely hate it. They do offer a return policy. Basically within 30 days of purchase, you can get refunded the cost of your holster, but you do have to pay shipping and a $20 restocking fee. I kind of wish they didn't have that restocking fee, but I do understand why it's there. You know, it does take manpower and time to go through the return process with someone. And then once they get the holster, it's not like they can just put it back in another bag and just ship it back out to somebody else. Like even this one here, I've adjusted it just a few times. And so like this clip might need to be thrown away or replaced because it's got marks all over it now. And like the screws, just from the few times, I would not want to receive a brand new holster and then have marks and stuff like that. So they probably have to put new screws and stuff like that in it. So I do understand why there's a fee. And finally, their warranty is awesome. Basically, it's a lifetime warranty. If something breaks from like normal use, they'll replace whatever breaks or the entire holster. Well, all right, guys, I just wanted to introduce you to another holster company. I think they're a good one to check out. Hopefully you found the video enjoyable. If it was helpful, informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I will try to leave a link to Harry's holsters. Sometimes YouTube gets a little funny about certain types of links, but I'll try to include it down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.